Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm going to be walking you guys through my living room and bedroom of my apartment in California. I've been meaning to do one of these apartment tour videos for quite a while, but in classic me style, it's coming about a week before I move out. So I will preface this by saying that this is never actually this clean. I just dumped a bunch of junk into my bedroom to film this segment, and the same thing will be happening in reverse for the bedroom segment. I am in the thick of moving back to Michigan, but I am pretty proud of the displays I've put up here in California, so that's why I just wanted to walk you guys through it. So this is the main view of my apartment. Over to the left, I have the kitchen, which we're not really going to be spending any time in, but I do have my KitchenAid mixer over there because I did get really into baking while I lived here. And then I actually do want to show off my magnet collection because I have a lot of magnets from all of my travels, but I also have quite a few Lego magnets, which you can see right there. And these are magnets that I got before I moved in here. But yeah, I got like all of the different location-based magnets. And then you can actually see above them, I have some of those Insiders Rewards magnets, like the Star Wars one. I've got the Weasley one from the Burrow, and the classic magnets that were available in the Insider Center with the wooden duck, the shield, and then the Classic Space logo. Moving to the left, we also have the only piece of Lego artwork that's in the kitchen. That is the floral art set. I actually won that in a raffle at work. And then continuing to move over to the left, we have my bookshelf, which has some displays, and then the Great Wave up there on the wall. I do live with a wonderful roommate who lets me put all of my Lego stuff all over the living room. So the bottom shelf of the bookshelf is hers, and then the rest of them are mine. So I've got my regular like reading books here, and then I've put up some displays. So you can see I have like the minifigure tributes for not Galileo. I dismantled that one. Jules Verne. Sorry, it took me a second. And then I put the new Jane Austen one over there, and the books are my passion gift with purchase. I also have a couple of the botanical gift with purchases over here, and my Lego World Builder beta tester gift. Moving up one shelf, that little motorcycle set on the left is actually my roommate's because she's really into riding motorcycles. But then I have the diorama sets that have been gifts with purchase this year. And then behind them, I have some space stuff. So it's kind of hard to see. But I do have the classic Space Baby back there. And then just like those micro classic space sets and that newer like Lunar Rover one at the back left. And then finally, my last shelf is all of like my Marvel and Lego books. As you can see, some of them are still in the plastic. I haven't read most of these, but I intend to one day. And then I've also got my baking cookbooks all the way on the right. But yeah, here, the only Lego stuff I have displayed is just like the little travel suitcase set, which is adorable. I really, really love that set. Apart from the floral art set, I also have some botanicals on display in the kitchen. So this used to be like the red flower bouquet set, the rose bouquet, and then I had it surrounded with the succulents, but I have been building more even though I'm about to move out. So I switched out the displays for these. So I have the pretty pink flower bouquet, which is a little bit haphazardly arranged. I'm going to arrange it nicer when I go back home to Michigan. I've got the red Japanese maple tree, and then I have the flower arrangement set. And honestly, I bought the flower arrangement just to swap it out with flower heads from the pretty pink set, because I didn't really like the look of this set, like just on its own. But after building it, I'm really, really happy with it. I actually like the flower arrangement set a lot, and that kind of surprised me. Moving into the rest of the living room, you can definitely tell which bedroom is mine because it's got the Thunderbolts IMAX poster up there. And then this is kind of what I've done to the whole TV area. I bought this like this media center thing from IKEA that came with an attached bookshelf, and I really love this like this piece of furniture. I just really like the colors. I think it works great for displaying Lego sets. And so I do cycle out the displays in this shelf like every few months or so. But just for a quick spin around the room, at the back we have my dining table. I've got the Milky Way and the Tales of the Space Age set displayed on the wall there. In the back right corner of the room, that's my like living room Lego building table, which has been kind of a mess for the last few months. And then all the way on the right here, I have my Ninjago City display. And I'm sorry if the lighting is a little bit messed up. My apartment just doesn't get a lot of natural light, and so it makes filming videos out here kind of hard. So starting with the TV displays, you can see that I have my TV flanked by the 4 Gentlemen botanical sets. So on the left, I have the Lucky Bamboo and the Orchid, and then on the right, I have the Chrysanthemum and Plum Blossom. And then I have different displays all in the base here. So I'm going to try to zoom in a bit. Sorry, it's kind of hard. It's really hard to film apartment tour videos. But in the bottom left, I've got the Chinese New Year sets. I have the family celebration, like the restaurant set from, I think that was January 2024. And then I have the newer Good Fortune set. Everyone knows that that was super cheap at Costco. I think the final price I got on it was like $20, and it's a $90 set at retail. But I actually like that set quite a bit, especially because it comes with a Ming vase in the back left. And my family has a lot of antique Chinese furniture because we used to live in China. So we have our own Ming vases at my home in Michigan. So that's why I really like this set, because it just reminds me of my house. And then above it, I've got the Twilight House set, which I really love. It's such like a modern house, which is not something you usually see from Lego. I have no room for any of these sets back in Michigan. If you guys have seen my Michigan like room tour video from 2023, my room looks even worse than that now. Like, it's even more full of Lego sets, but it's a shame because the Twilight House is a set that I really want to keep on display. So I'm going to have to find some room for it. Then in the bottom center, we have the Dorado Fortress set. At least I hope that that's what the official name is. I don't quite remember. But I really like this set too. I can't wait to take it back to Michigan and then be able to display it with like the Pirates Bay idea set. Again, I don't remember the name of that either. Pirates of Barracuda Bay. That's what it is. I'm really excited to display them together. And then above it, I have all of the custom mocks that I built using the pieces from those seasonal VIP/insider sets. Those videos were pretty popular a few years ago. And so I have kept all of my mocks. They're all going to get broken up when I move, but it's okay. They've had a pretty good run. And then unfortunately, the Dorado Fortress ship wouldn't fit in there with the set. So instead I have it visiting the Viking village. And I think among all of the sets that are on display here, the Viking village is the one that stayed here the longest. That's been on display since I moved in here in summer 2023. Like, I think it came out that fall and I immediately built it and put it on display here. And it's the only thing that hasn't moved among all of these different like cubbies. And then above it, I have a little Stitch display going on. I'm in a very Stitch mood lately because I rewatched the animated one after the horrible live action movie came out. And so I made a little Stitch display with the minifigure set and then with just the displayable Stitch. And then moving to the bookshelf side of the display, I have the medieval town square down here. And then moving up, I have the new Shire set. This one seems like a little bit small considering how big the cubby is, but this is probably not something I'm going to be displaying in Michigan, so I did want to have a good display for it while it lasted. It's an okay set. I have a lot of problems with it. I think for such an expensive set and for it being an 18 plus set, it just has way too many little design flaws that really kind of drag the set down. So I'm hoping to modify it one day, like once I move back. But once I get home, I'm going to have so much other stuff to worry about with my collection that I might not make it around to modifying this guy. Then I have the botanical garden, and unfortunately the entrance gate gift with purchase kind of like sticks out of the cubby a little bit, but I really, really love this set. It's been on display here for almost a year now, since I bought it back in November of 2024, and it's just beautiful. It is such a pretty set. I don't want to have to dismantle every single set that I'm moving back home. And so this is one that I'm going to just break off all of the plants that are lying around. And then I'm going to see if I can just bubble wrap it and take it back fully assembled. And then we come to some of my favorite displays in my entire apartment, and that would be my dinosaur displays. So I have the dinosaur fossils sets here. We have the Triceratops skull and the T-Rex skull. And then I also have the Creator 3-in-1 T-Rex back there. And I've added in the little T-Rex skeleton from the Visitor Center set. And then above these guys, I have what is one of my favorite Lego sets of all time, the Dinosaur Fossils T-Rex skeleton. This set changed my life because as soon as I found out it was coming, I decided that I need to cut down on my Lego collection. You guys know I have an insane collection. It's just way too big. And if the Lego group is going to be making full-size dinosaur skeletons, I'm a goner. I need every single one of these. I hope that they do one a year until the day I die. Like, I want a Triceratops. I want a Spinosaurus. I want a Stegosaurus. Like, I don't even know. I just want every single like dinosaur and pterosaur and marine reptile the Lego group can possibly make. I truly think that this T-Rex set is one of the greatest Lego sets of all time. Like, it is just so up my alley. They could not have made something more perfect for me. And that's even coming after amazing sets like Avengers Tower and the Titanic and Rivendell. Like, seeing this T-Rex skeleton just made me want to sell like 10 to 20% of my collection so that I have room for more incredible sets like this. Unfortunately, I still haven't gotten a chance to review it because work was just so busy this year and I've been traveling a lot and there's just been a lot of personal stuff going on. So I do intend to review it before I move out. I don't know if that video will come out before this room tour, but yes, it is just a gorgeous set. And I really like that I'm able to display it with other Dinosaurs skeleton sets because here, if I zoom out, this shot here is just my favorite thing to look at in my living room. And then briefly moving over to the right next to the window, we've got the Milky Way, which is a gorgeous set, especially from a little distance. So I'm definitely going to have to find room on my wall for that when I get back to Michigan as well. We're reaching the home stretch of the living room now. We still have my bedroom to look at. Sorry for the long video, but hey, I want to do a nice detailed tour for you guys. This is, like I said, my living room building table. Right now, it's just full of all of these friend sets that I've built. These are all going to get dismantled and packed away soon. But I love all of these sets. Like, Lego friend sets are peak. People do not put enough respect on their name. And so these are some of my favorite ones that have come out in the last few years. I've also got the Love sculpture at the back left, which you can barely see. And then I have the Pharrell Williams set at the back right. These weird little arms are like crafting lamps. So that's like what I would use to build at night. And then there is a lot of mess underneath the table. And those are a bunch of sets that I'm selling. So there are actually like a lot of sealed sets that I decided that I actually don't want to build. And so I'm deciding to just sell them. And finally, we have Ninjago City. This is probably my favorite Lego display ever, you know, like just made with official sets, because it just looks absolutely incredible. This is the first time I've united all 5 of the sets together. I just finished building the workshops like a couple of weeks ago, and they're down there at the end. I also want to do a review of that, but I'm actually missing some stickers. My stickers were misprinted, and I'm still waiting on the replacements to be sent to me. I have to say, I don't really like the newer sets as much, the Ninjago City Markets and Ninjago City Workshops. I think they've lost what was really integral to the Ninjago City sets, which was a 360-degree play experience. I'm pretty sure I talked about this in my Markets review. Losing that aspect of the sets, I just think is unforgivable. So even though they're still really cool sets, they're still highly detailed, they're still better than like a lot of other Lego sets you can find right now. To me, they're just never going to be as good as the original 2 and then the Ninjago City Gardens. I don't think it's just nostalgia, but yeah, there's something about them that I just don't like as much as the original sets, which to me are still the 2 best Ninjago City sets. I know that that might be controversial because so many people love the Gardens, and the Gardens are a fantastic set. There's just certain changes to the design language of the Ninjago City sets that they started to lose me, like with the newer ones. You know, with not being modular anymore and instead having like removable walls and stuff. I preferred the modularity. It provided more detail. It's like a waste of parts to have the removable walls, but they still look gorgeous on display. So again, when I get back to Michigan, no idea where I'm going to find room for this, but I'd love to play around with the display because in this apartment, I can only display them in a straight line. And I did buy this table just for that purpose. So when I get home, I'm excited to see like how I can, you know, use the corner buildings to start to, you know, make more of a square or like a city block or just something different. I apologize if the lighting isn't great in here either. Unfortunately, it's a pretty cloudy day now that I'm filming the second half of this video. But here is my bedroom. So I have cleaned it up quite a bit to prepare it for this video. Unfortunately, the Lego displays on the shelves don't fit in the frame when I'm just like focusing it kind of at eye level. I've finally finished setting up all of my displays right before I move out, so I'm excited to walk you guys through all of them and show you guys what I've come up with. So I'm going to start at the least interesting wall. This is where my window is. It looks out onto my apartment balcony, which me and my roommate just used for storage, so that's why there's not a lot going on. Over in the corner with the bed, I've got a big Hunger Games poster that I got at the exhibition 10 years ago now in 2015. And then, of course, I have my bed in this corner, and you can see my neon sign, which I will light up later on in this review. And then we have all of the displays on the wall, but what I really want to focus on here is the Concorde, because this used to be in the living room, but then I put the dinosaur fossils set where it used to be. And I actually really like the position I have it in here because it looks like it's about to take flight off the shelf. And it does stick out like crazy over the window, but it's never fallen, and so it works pretty well. Before we get into the rest of those displays, though, this is the other side of my room, so directly across from my bed. I have a few posters on the walls, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Wakanda Forever, and then Supergirl from the Flash movie. You can kind of tell I moved in here in 2023, because that's when half of these movies came out. I do not particularly like the Flash movie, but I did like Supergirl, and I just thought that that was a nice poster. Moving over to the right, this is the corner I was standing in when I started the video, so this is my door. I've got the Macaw Parrot set up there. Then I have an Agatha All Along poster, a retro Visit Isla Nublar poster, like the one I have in my room in Michigan. And then I do have a poster for the Acolyte. I got both the Agatha and Acolyte posters at a fan screening. Display-wise, here it's the Harry Potter corner, so I've got the Burrow Collector's Edition set right there, which I did do a separate review on, and then I have the micro versions of Hogwarts and Diagon Alley. And then over in this corner, which I literally just set up after finishing filming my Hogwarts Connection video, I've got the main tower, Great Hall, and Boathouse. And the boathouse does stick off my dresser. So if I was going to live in this apartment for longer than another week, that is not how I would display it, but it's fine for just a couple days. And then, of course, I've got the Durmstrang ship too, because it's just such a unique, well-designed Harry Potter set. I really wanted to display it next to Hogwarts. And then this corner is unfortunately getting a little tight, but there is another view of my Hogwarts display. I do have Aragog crawling up the side as well. And yeah, that's just a beautiful, beautiful display. But I wanted to come into this corner because I do have a glass display cabinet here for some of my Hot Toys action figures. I have only opened 2 of them actually, because I opened Rescue before I moved. So I've only opened 2 more in the 2 years that I lived here. I have like another 10 to open, like unbox and review. So I'll be doing that in Michigan. Don't know where I'm going to display them in Michigan, but I'll just go ahead and open up this cabinet very delicately. And on this level, we have the Mark V. Down there, we have Rescue, who was my first Hot Toys figure and probably my favorite Iron Man suit. And then on the bottom level, we have the Iron Patriot Mark II. And then going up, we have some Infinity Stone replicas from Disneyland, which I also reviewed on this channel. And then all the way at the top, I have Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman 1984. And that display actually has a lot more going on, so I've just lifted up the whole camera. I apologize if it's a little bit shaky. But yeah, I've got my Hot Toys figure, which I didn't do a review of, my Funko Pop of her in the Golden Eagle armor, and the Lego set back there, which is a wonderful Lego set, even though the movie wasn't very good. And since this is kind of the replica / action figure corner, I do have my custom-built lightsaber from Savi's workshop here. I did a separate review of this on my channel as well, and you can see my bike poking through on the balcony. I have a lot of stuff to sell before I move out. I'm not taking any of this furniture with me or my bike or anything, so I'm really just trying to get rid of it all right now. But looking back at the bed this way, there is my neon sign, which I also did a review of. I will probably turn it on now because I think all the reflective surfaces have been covered. So that is what it looks like when it's all lit up. I guess it might kind of screw up the lighting for the rest of the video. But there you can see my Batman wall art. And I guess this is a fine time to take a look at some of those displays up there. So I'll do my best to zoom in, but right above the Batman set, I've got the Joker Manor that is intentional, that they're kind of like stacked on top of each other. The Joker Manor is just an impeccable display piece. I'm going to try to take it back to Michigan mostly fully assembled, just breaking off the delicate parts. Let's see if it survives the journey. Then I have some Ninjago sets, Cole's Titan Dragon mech, and then the Tournament Temple City set, along with the Dragonstone Shrine in the corner there. Tournament Temple City is a very nice set, but I think I might be selling it, because as I said earlier, I don't have room for any of this stuff in Michigan. And then kind of swinging back over to the Concord corner, I've got the Amazing Spider-Man wall art piece. That couldn't fit with all the Marvel stuff, that's why it's kind of just stuck into the corner. I have Mario on his standard cart with the spiky shell. I have Lowenstein Castle from the AFOL designer program, because I did used to work for Bricklink. That's why I had moved out here to California. So I won that in an office raffle. It is a very nice set and a nice display piece. And then we have the Concord on the other side. Here's my desk, same computer that I had in my last room tour video in Michigan. My coworker at Bricklink built me that very nice name sculpture in the same vein as the Love set. And then I just have a lot of little knickknacks and stuff on my desk. To the left, that is a crochet of my dog Thanos that my friend had made for me. I've got my little like years of service for Bricklink thing that just tracked how many years I worked for them. And then a bunch of like little nice custom stuff. So that ostrich was built by the same coworker that did that nameplate. The little mini landers I built during a company trip to Legoland. That is Anatar or Sauron from Rings of Power. And then it's me next to him. And then I've just got like some rocks and stuff. I have the Bricklink 25th anniversary parrot and then a couple of my favorite Lego dinosaurs. And please don't call me out on it. I know I had a lot of problems with the Giganotosaurus when I reviewed the Jurassic World set several years ago. I still have those same problems with it. I just think it's cool looking, so I put it on display. Oh, and then back there through my lamp, that is like the one thing from my bedroom that's coming back with me. I really love these like Art Deco style lamps from IKEA. That is like a Triceratops thing that I built at a company play day event last year. And then the last of my like personal stuff is the school I went to, McGill. I put a pennant there. I have a U for my name, and then a random Hunger Games poster because my aunt had mailed both of the Hunger Games posters back to me because they had ended up at her house and she was moving, so she sent them to me here, which is why they ended up on the walls in this apartment. As for the rest of my displays, now we enter the Marvel section. So this whole triangle plus a little bit more to the left, that is all Marvel. So zooming in here, I just filmed my Spider-Verse minifigure unboxing. So I have a little Spider-Verse display. I've got the Marvel logo, the little helicarrier. I guess I don't need to say every single set I have out here. You can kind of see them. I've got some of those diorama sets. I really like the Endgame Final Battle diorama with all of the female heroes. I added in the rest of them that were in that scene. Not sure if I ever did a video about that set. I think I did. But that plus the Spider-Man diorama, those are just the best Marvel diorama sets that the LEGO Group has made. I've got the Spider-Man mask tucked into a corner. I like that set. I think it's the best Marvel mask set that's been made. I love the Venomized Groots. I didn't care much for the standard Baby Groot, and I don't like the newer ones, like with the dancing Baby Groot. I don't like those. But the half Venomized and fully Venomized Baby Groot, that is, I think, one of the nicest Marvel sets that's come out in the last few years. Sculpture based, at least. And I know that that's a hot take, but like, just look how cute they are. Like, they're friends. And I have Captain America's shield back there. I don't know if I want to keep that set. It's a little bit too big and boring, so I actually might end up selling it. And then off to the side here, I have the X Mansion. I have Wolverine's claws behind it, but I'm really happy with how my mansion display has turned out. It took a while to get the minifigures up there because I just filmed my X-Men minifig mods video a few days ago, so the mansion has been displayed without minifigures basically since I built it last November. But the display is just glorious with all of the heroes like flying around and fighting the Sentinel. I can't wait to take this back to Michigan. I'm also going to try to bring it back fully assembled, and there's no room for it in my city, but maybe I can find a space for it somewhere else on a shelf. And then the last of the displays up here, it's my only Star Wars set, the Darth Vader's castle. I do have some other Star Wars sets in the closet, but the TIE Interceptor, the UCS version, used to be where the X-Mansion was for a few months last year in 2024, and I ended up selling that set just a few months after I bought it because I actually did not like the UCS TIE Interceptor as much as just the regular minifigure play-scale version of the TIE Interceptor. And then finally, we come to the little hallway I have in my room. I have the master bedroom in my apartment, so it has an attached bathroom. Unfortunately, that bathroom doesn't have a door, so that's really awkward, and I don't want you guys to see me in the mirror there. So, you know, that's not the best. But I really love what I've done with the hallway because I just lined the wall with all of those Insiders Reward Center exclusive Halloween posters, and I really like these posters. Not a horror fan. The posters are horror coded and they do glow in the dark, so I see them glowing like from my bed at night. But I just think they look really good all arranged in a line like this. And they kind of go from my favorite to least favorite because, for example, I put the one with the vanishing brick, like with the guy's face, I put that one all the way right at the end because I didn't want to see someone's eyes staring at me while I slept at night. The other side of the hallway has some more art pieces, so I've got the Mona Lisa hanging here. And then I also put up this nice exclusive ninja artwork that Tommy Andreasen, the creator of Ninjago, had given me when I visited him in Billund in March 2024. So I really treasure this. I think that it's a really nice art piece, so I put it in this nice frame, and I will have to find some space on it for my wall when I get back home. And this is more of an embarrassing glimpse into how I usually live. This is my closet. I have not cleaned it up at all for this video. It is a complete pit. It is full of sets I haven't built yet. You can see I've stolen a very small sliver of space for my clothes. And then, I've just got Hot Toys figures like piled up into the corner. Those are all brand new. I have some Star Wars ships that like I've left fully assembled, but that I don't want to put on display. And then all the way in the corner is my Iron Man Hall of Armor. I know people have really wanted an update video on that. I will be making one when I get back home to Michigan. I just prefer filming in that studio space, and I want to make sure that that video is the best it can be after everyone's been waiting like a year for the next update. All of the brown boxes back there, those are all Bricklink Designer Program invitational sets, so like all of the 2021 sets. I got all of those when I joined the company in 2023. I am selling a few of them to kind of fund my move, but a lot of the stuff in the closet is just going back to Michigan like this, so I really need to get started on packing it. I did want to show this off though, tucked away in the corner. I have my collection of Lego minifigure business cards and the Playday exclusive minifigures from the years I've been with the company. Unfortunately, there was no Playday minifigure in 2025, which I was not happy about since I love my exclusive items, but I like the minifigure business cards I've collected. I have 2 of my supervisors as minifigures, a couple of colleagues I've met, and then 2 of like the higher ups at the Lego group, including the former family CEO, Kjeld Kirk Christiansen. His minifigure business card is very rare, so I'm really happy that I got my hands on one. But that about does it for this room tour video. I know it's been very long, so thank you if you've watched all the way to the end. In true me fashion, like I only got my apartment presentable enough to do this video right before I move out. That is what happened when I was at college in Montreal as well. That's also what happened when I moved out of my home in Michigan 2 years ago. But when I get back home, I'm really going to put a lot of time and effort into like tidying up and organizing my collection and hopefully cutting down on some of it, because I do think that there are just too many good Lego sets that I end up buying. And so I want to sell off a bunch of the ones that I've built over the last few years to make room for new sets. That's it for today though. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my website, goldenninja3000.com, and I'll see you guys in more videos soon. Bye for now.